Hello everyone. So my internet is back and we're back to the grind. So in this video, I'm going to demonstrate how I create these effects using random flow on a character model. So I'll try and update the add-ons tomorrow, Pacific time in the morning. And because we had a very strong storm, it cut out a lot of power and also the internet on a lot of residential homes. So I just got mine restored today. So yeah, tomorrow I'll try and update the ads. Okay. So this is the topology or the randomization generated from the body of the model. Just try and set this aside and use this to demonstrate the process again. So with the original version, I actually tried the no masking for that one and just pure randomization on the entire mesh or model. But this time we're going to use masking and actually do not try and invert it. Tagging, tag face mask, and we're just going to actually mirror this on the x-axis. Delete the masking on this one here. Okay. So this part is not going to be randomized. Here as well. Okay, let's try it. Run panels and use the preset, use face tags and not inverted. So this is the result. This is the part of the mask and here as well. So everything's looking pretty sharp, unlike there's auto smooth. But the trick here is to actually smooth it. Let's try and give 0.1 smoothing and increase the repeat value to increase it some more. Okay. Now, when we smooth it, the boundaries also get smoothed and it reveals the source mesh from underneath. So with this method, we're just going to actually merge the randomization result to the source mesh. Okay, and now we have this. And we just need to further edit the result. We can also try and introduce margin, but in this case, I'm not gonna probably do that just to avoid distortion. Thickness, I probably set 0 because the smoothing will actually just supply that. Okay, now everything's so right now the randomization looks very noisy. So what we need to do is actually bring down the detail. And of course, the detail is of course relative to the faces that you have used or selected. You can also increase the resolution of the selected faces and thereby get more detail like this. But depending on the amount of faces that you're using, you're going to introduce some lag in the operation. But I guess this is the subdivided resolution. The increased resolution actually provides some really interesting detail. So, but first, to make it faster for me to edit some of the other parameters, going to set the subdivision to 0 back again, and then um, try and manipulate the other modifiers or lower down the settings and then get back to subdivision level 1. Okay. Since you don't already have the inset clear, this is part of the update. And what this does is, if you're using this, turn this on and bring down the panel amount, it will merge the, instead of removing like it normally does, like that, when you have inset clear on, it merges the islands instead, starting from the smaller ones, like that. So you get more relaxed areas and less detail. And if you invert it using this, it will merge the larger islands first and leave the smaller islands alone. If this is the look that you're trying to get. So let's just set it back to the default. Actually, this right here looks good. And we can just set this as a cloth. And let's just try to subdivide. Okay. This also looks great. Okay. First one without subdivision actually looks really nice. Like it's really, it doesn't look gribbled or anything. So you can use this as a base for further modeling or just a guide for the design. Okay. Now that we've gone to edit mode, we've essentially confirmed the operation. So if you're unsure about what you're doing, you can just save the source mesh using extras and data, save. And if you want to bring it back, just use a proxy mesh like this. And then shift Q, extras, data, use. So that's the body from before. And just say Blender. So when you quit and open it up, the mesh data will still be there. Okay. This is the, so it actually comes, oh, it doesn't have marked seams. No, it doesn't have marked seams for, I didn't trigger it for the mask. Okay. So let's just use press select to select all these faces right here. And then Control Plus to include the side faces from the inset. Control Plus on the numpad. And let's give it plot simulation using extras, utility, and panel plot. And we're going to cuts one, remove faces. This will remove the faces underneath. If you don't want that, just use this. But depending on the situation and the topology, it might clip the topology underneath and reveal the source mesh. So since we have the data saved, we can just actually let's save this extras data save, and then we can have our destructive operations on this mesh without worrying about losing the original design. So remove faces. Okay, you can of course toggle off use mirror. This will use this the other side, but this will apply the geometry and increase the processing footprint of the operation. I guess not too much. And set the subdivision to lower, and then you can adjust the settings much better. You can drag the parameters like that, but if things are slower, just avoid the drag action altogether and just input the value manually using the numpad. If you don't have the numpad, you can always use the numbers on top of the QWERTY keys. Oops, minus 0.15, and pressure is 4, mass is 1. Okay. If things aren't really shaping up to the like the shape that you want, you can always use sculpting after. It's 2 and 0.2. Okay, so hello Paris. Thank you for the comments. And then probably experiment with a shrink. Gravity, margin. So it's a bit finicky. I think I should, no. Bake frames. Let's try 25 bake frames. Nope. What seed? 0.3. Shrink 0.25. Oops. Okay, shrink 0.05. There we go. 0.08. Nope. Minus 0.06. There we go. And if you want, I guess the creasing already is good. You can try and include a subsurf or subdivision modifier. This will not be destructive. This will be a subdivision modifier added to the mesh when the script is finished. And you can apply it if you want manually. So subdivision level 2. And I guess we don't need to increase the actual subdivision cut right here. We can just use the subdivision level 2 of the modifier, subsurf modifier, or subdivision modifier. So, but let's just use level 1 for now to make the scene lighter. Okay, now we can choose another part to make as a shirt. Let's pretend that these are still soft, kind of suit-like material, like leather or something. And these are cloth. Okay, let's try this one here. So again, I'm using the pre-select, and then oh no, panel screws, panel cloth, and just we already have the settings here from before, so you can just you can use one of the options here as an OK button. So just use the already highlighted one, and press OK. And as you can see here, we need to increase the subdivision and also increase the subsurf level, something like that. So just some minor creasing. Which part? This one here. Let's try this one. Yeah, depending on you can see the creasing here. This is, of course, the cloth simulation. Sometimes it won't generate at all. So what you have to do is just use sculpting. Hi, just use sculpting after the operation to generate the creasing if it doesn't show up. At some instances, depending on the topology, there won't be any creasing that will show. So extras, utility, panel cloth, and increase the cut and the subsurf level. Okay, nothing too fancy. This one, you can probably try it. Oh, I wonder if this will. Let's try it. This tiny geometry here. I wonder if it will cause a problem with the simulation. Let's just try it. Panel cloth, increase the cuts, and then the subdivision. Oops, the subsurf level. Okay, it did generate this part here generated problem with this part. So let's try and fix it with sculpting. Press I to inflate and use something like point 1 to point 2 and just slowly brush. Fix. If you haven't tried sculpting, don't think of this as character sculpting. You're just actually just modifying the geometry using sculpt brush. It's almost like proportional editing. So we're going to press S for smooth and just smooth this. To introduce creasing, you can try D for draw. Oops, D. Is it D? Where's draw? D. Draw. Draw. Okay, there's no more hotkey for draw. Okay, draw or inflate. Then you can try that. So nothing too fancy. And go back to smoothing and do that. Okay. Um, that's done. Just some basic repair. Also, if you're serious about going into sculpting, character sculpting, I would advise you to start with Blender, not ZBrush, because and with the topology. And I also did that. I started with Blender, and it was really easy for me. I did a lot in just a week from zero using the topology. So you basically just block everything using lower resolution. You increase the resolution as you go along. It's like painting. Okay, last one is this part here, and then Control Plus and extras, panel cloth, none, cuts is 1, and subsurf level is 1. Okay, review. I think we can call this. You might need to sculpt this part here, but yeah. So after, let's just smooth this, smooth shade smooth, not smooth shade. Okay, so we have the leather parts and our cloth material. So a good thing about this is a destructive process. A good thing about the destructive process is this is actually faster in the long run because you can touch the result. Whereas if this is then destructive, well, you have in the end, if you're using non-destructive process, you still have to apply it to apply the ending result. Okay, let's try and add additional designs. Random offset. Oh, too small. Um, it's not looking. That's not looking good. Okay, let's just try Final Cut bevel. Just going to. Oh, this is not. Manipulate the depth and the width, and Control Shift X on the mirror in the X axis. There we go. Um, we can actually try to just remove the sharpness and get that. Final cut, do not cut the border in the middle, edges, and cut symmetry to cut the center line. Okay, and how did this? Let's try it here. So everything can be non-destructive using Control Z. Try this one. So Final Cut is actually meant to work with random panel, and it can also it can also be a add-on, and what I'm trying to say is it can be its own add-on without be acting as a support. Okay, I think this is this normal? No, I think this is vertex color. Set, there we go. Okay, so this actually looks much better than the one I posted in the YouTube Shorts. With the YouTube Shorts, I was actually just trying to hurry everything up. But this one looks much cleaner, and yeah, I totally erased the faces on this part while manipulating the. Let's just repair this quickly using F2, using the F2 add-on. What we can do instead is apply the mirror, select all this, and Control FG, and not matching up. Okay, don't fail me now, fill grid. There we go. And then fix the vertex color. There we go. And reestablish the mirror, the x-axis, and repair this part. There we go. While I was selecting the faces here, I accidentally selected the faces here also and deleted them. Okay, so back to where we are. So this looks much cleaner than the previous one I created for the YouTube Shorts, as you can see here. And so the only thing that I'm going to change here is probably this area right here, the belt. Since we're not actually dealing with a complete character, this might pose some area with a tight area, tight area here. So yeah. Okay, let's try and color this and just use the material from this one. And just for fun, create a symbol here using random symbols. So creative flow will have more updates also in the future. Okay, and so go to draw modifiers and let's deactivate use solidify. Okay. Alt S. Okay, it has the right normal. Just align it so we can make the shrink wrap work better. Okay, random symbols. Um, this one here, and merge to source so we can see the result. And base cut, not base cut, face cut. Okay, so we're looking for something. I guess this could work. There we go. And just increase subdivision. Actually, this the topology looks really distorted. So we can use texture mesh to make it all quads. Okay, boom. Just make sure that the overall shape is maintained and click this and this shirt. Control Shift X, shrink wrap, use shrink wrap. So in the update, this will be toggled on by default. So it's much easier to use. Use data transfer so it will inherit the shading of the mesh underneath, which is the shirt. Uh, Wrap subdivision. The shirt has subdivision, so make sure to wrap it. Floater mesh. Toggle it also so it doesn't. This font object doesn't generate shadows and or reflect on the shirt, so it will look like it's a part of the shirt. Okay. Offset 0.001. Okay. Okay. We might go point search. Let's use point search here too. And the black faces means the normal is probably reversed, so recalculate outside. Okay. Now we can start and texture this. So the model is from Make Human, and I actually forgot to export the eyebrows. Okay, this is the part that we're going to just uh, dirty with the random parts color, no saturation, and island. So this is the island doesn't work here because it's basically a unimesh now. So let's use probably sharp, mark sharp. There we go. You can randomize it. We can still change this after. There we go. And let's just have this closer so we can go to this material and just drag it here, and then the shirt, drag it here, and then the symbol, drag it to the symbol. And oh, the cloth is actually looking really good. The cloth, drag the cloth to this front shirt here and set this aside. Whoops. I was actually using vertex color in the plot, so I'll just use creative flow, vertex color set. Actually, the white looks really good. And also here, set. Let's change this one to white. But first, okay, attribute, we'll set it to white. Multiply. Where's the color? We need to find out. There we go. Um, it's not really that white. Yeah. Oh, the pointiness. What? Okay. So pick all the clothes and use creative flow to set the material. So I guess this is our flow cloth. There we go. And we're going to fix this symbol and actually generate alpha, grunge. Let's increase the scale of the Voronoi to 1000 and here as well. 1000. Then the threshold. There we go. Just a bit of damage. So I'm actually using texture for this one here. So let's not actually make that visible and set this to something really big. Instance. Okay. I just disconnected the texture. So here we are. It actually looks much better than it looks simpler and actually looks more believable. Is this using subdivision? No. So this is with subdivision level 1. You can still try and increase it. There's a command in random flow that actually deals with this after you put subdivision on the randomized mesh, and it's called the crease sharp. There we go. And you can control the affected edges using the sharpness value here. The default 30 degrees actually works for most situation. And then if you use 0, you can see that everything's really smooth because of this subdivision. So surface using Catmull and Clark algorithm, you can introduce a bit of creasing to make it less smoother, while having a smoother look on the other surfaces because of the uh, subdivision modifier. Crease sharp and one. Okay, and you can still play with the random vertex color. You can dirty. And I guess the it's too black, so let's set the minimum. Okay, not that. Let's just use the colorant in the shader nodes to make it lighter. So this is the one. And of course you can introduce color if you want. Okay, let's hide this. And we got our character model here. So you can generate like just a couple of this to use as characters for your concept art scene. Just like backdrop characters. And a good thing about this is that this will be your personal Kit Bash collection, and it will be unique to you. And of course, you won't have something that's you won't you won't have similarities with other artists if you're using Kit Bash from popular stores. So that's my main plug on it. Okay. For I forgot what I was going to do. Oh, the light. Let's try other HRI. I forgot the eyebrow, so that was not intentional. Yeah. Can I change the color of the hair? Color, mix color, and color. We can. Let's use add. Oh no, it made the separation of the hair strips look obvious. Okay. White. Let's try and negate the shadows using Cycle's visibility. There we go. Ooh, it's still generated. Uh, okay, so there you have it. And that's your that's how you can use the add-on, run the flow add-on for and create the flow panel cutter to generate uh, sci-fi suits for characters. In the future, we're going to try it on a full-scale human model, not just the not just the torso, but as you can see here, you can also you can smooth streaming. As you can see here, it is entirely possible to create these kinds of design. Okay, so I think the stream is already experiencing some trouble, so I'm just gonna end it here. And thank you for watching. If you're interested in these tools, visit blendergabi.com and check out the tools that I have there and also the links in the description. Thank you all for watching and see you in the next one.